Now let's start with the news. And the prime suspect in the killing of 2 police officers at Buduburam near Kaswa has been charged with murder by District Magistrate Court right here in Accra. 33-year-old Eric Kojodua, who had been on the run since the day of the crime, was arrested over the weekend at Atimpoku in the Eastern region. 6 others arrested in connection with the killing of the 2 officers were charged with conspiracy to commit murder and abetment to commit murder. They have all since been remanded as investigations continue. Court correspondent Joseph Akable was in court and now reports.
7 persons were led into the courtroom by officers of the police CID on Monday. They included Eric Kojodua, who was arrested in the Eastern region on Saturday as the key architect in this particular matter that the police is treating as a top priority. The other accused persons include Ibrahim Zakaria, Isaac Mensah, Oblete Komi, Victor Yire, and Fatal Ahmed. The charges leveled against them include murder, conspiracy to murder, and abetment to commit murder. ASP Sylvester Asari, who is leading the state's prosecution, informed the court that investigations were at a level that required that they get access to these individuals, and so asked that they be remanded into the custody of the police, preferably at the BNI headquarters. The court granted a request remanding the 3 accused persons into the BNI headquarters, with the remaining to be kept at a facility at Osu, which we understand is in the control of the police CID. The case has meanwhile been adjourned to September 26 for trial to continue. Reporting for JoyNews on the Kaneshie District Court, my name is Joseph Akable.
Away from the court, work has begun on the refurbishment of the main road between School Junction and Riz Junction in the Adenta municipality. The work, which began weeks ago, will also see the Adringano to Trazako Road repaired. During an inspection tour of the project, the Member of Parliament for the area, Boabing Asamwa, asked constituents to bear with the contractor. PSA Nanayao Safo's report is read to you.
Contractors who spoke to us off record say the continuous use of a School Junction to Riz Junction roads is delaying the project. The team noticed that routes with less interference showed progress in work. Member of Parliament for Adentan constituency, Boabing Asamwa, therefore appealed to commercial workers to be circumspect in their activities and aid development.
The contractor was worried, and the contractor believed that if we didn't intervene, it would not go well. I think now he's happy. Given what is happening, if he's given full access, I think probably within 2 weeks to 3 weeks, we should see asphalt being laid. Because the verges are done, and virtually all the ancillary works are done. So he needs the space to now lay the final surface and put on the asphalt. So it shouldn't be longer than 2-3 weeks. It's not so much residents. Residents come in and go. They're a floating population. But the population who are doing commercial activities here, they are giving problems to the extent that there's loads of rubbish, for example, on the road. The contractor has to actually clean rubbish in the morning before he starts, and other things he has to dispose of. That takes about an hour of valuable time. And it also takes away from resources, because he has to then dispose of it and all that. So it's important that the commercial people, and they are the people we came to meet, the commercial people appreciate that they have a role to play. And that role is to keep their activities contained in such a manner that the contractor can finish the road.
He said they are in the process of finding a temporary place for commercial drivers to operate.
It's important that the road is done. The drivers accept that they would move aside out of the roadbed so that the contractor can finish the road in the shortest possible time. That requires the second level. Where do they go? So we are, whilst pending the acquisition of a permanent place, which we are working on very, very hard. We've been working on it for nearly 6 months. Pending that, it is important that we recognize that they need to operate from somewhere. So the question of a temporary place and where they operate from has almost virtually been decided, so that they can continue to serve the public whilst the contractor completes the road. And then in serving the public, we go ahead to find a permanent place where indeed the public will be more comfortable, they will be safer, and the surroundings will be conducive as well to other commercial activities. Because
the roads, when completed, will reduce traffic congestion in the municipality. PSA Nanayao, Safos report for JoyNews.
In the eastern region, construction work on a railhead for the 97-kilometer Tema Mpakadan single-gauge railway line is progressing steadily. Well, we have the railhead situated at Mpakadan in the Sujamang district of the eastern region and is expected to be completed next year, February, while the entire railway stretch should be ready by June. Well, the Minister for Railway Development, Joe Gate, expressed satisfaction at progress of work by the Africans Infrastructure Limited after he led an entourage to inspect work on the site. Here's Fred Kwame-Sare's report.
The 85-kilometer Tema Konsomo Railway had to be realigned and extended to end at Mpakadan following a feasibility study which revealed completion of work at Akonsombo would pose a threat to the dam. After a series of consultations, it was agreed to site the railhead at Mpakadan to serve as a depot for the transfer of goods between trains and other means of transport. Joe Gate explained factors that contributed to the realignment.
Someone in there, apart from the fact that about fake dam and so, why in there this year, this time, 2006, the terrorism doesn't know too much, but this year terrorism are. And United Nations actually, there are certain places there where your power source you have to protect it. This year, the car, as you was stop was set you. The train, you 600, will be someone set you. So that was another reason why we should not take it to Akosombo. There was a third reason. Sure. Mutamaka, a biara offering railway. No, do a rail line could say, how are you? It's a means to an end, it's not an end in itself. We create business around it. It's although Okuribia, business can come around it. Even if you invest $1 billion in railway, it must create $4 billion worth of business.
Afcons Infrastructure Limited, in charge of the railway construction, are blasting rocks at the site to level the ground for the construction of a 1-kilometer railhead. The sector minister is optimistic completion of the railways will create jobs for the teeming youth in the catchment areas.
Yeah, but on that will wave handkerchief. They know why they wave the handkerchief. Because by February, yeah, but and I time one handkerchief. But by February, I don't wash a powder. This whole area will transform. The water region will start transforming. Okay? I'm inviting anybody who has very high business acumen. Don't buy industrial park around Japan, so that the goods even coming from water region, they will not go to Accra. Look at the traffic. You bring your goods to a park around because the line will pass through North Town, go around before it comes here because of here. So you have a very nice park, and the goods come and locate themselves there. Then train takes it to Accra. So there's so much business opportunity.
The team also visited the Tropo farms for feasibility studies following concerns construction of a railway will disrupt operations of their tilapia farms on the Volta River. Richard Diedong Dumbo is Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Railway Development Authority.
It is good we came here today because the Minister and I, having seen where we thought there was an intractable situation, there is a solution because our engineers are now saying, yeah, they can do some underpass to allow for business. We've also looked at the waterways and seen it's possible for the waterways where they've got a concession, Tropofish, that they can move one step further up beyond their concession. In that case, we need to speak to the Minister of Fisheries, for that permission. But that is doable.
The Tema Mpakadan Railway, when completed, will serve as multimodal transport system to facilitate commerce to and from the Tema port. Fred Kwame-Sare's report for JoyNews.
Now let's take you to the Ashanti region next. And the absence of a mortuary is negatively impacting healthcare at Kumasi South Hospital. Bodies of dead persons are left on floors of balconies and verandas until bereaved families show up to convey them to public or private facilities elsewhere. Resident Medical Director Dr. Kwame Oforibuedu says inquest to disputed cause of death is also impeded. Love FM's Emmanuel Edujemfi has more in the following report.
Kumasi South Hospital is one of the satellite facilities upgraded to hospital status to augment and decongest Komfo Anokye Hospital. However, more than a decade after the elevation from the health center, the hospital has no hearse to transport corpses to the morgue. Relatives of dead persons have often resorted to taxis, cabs and other unapproved vehicles to move dead bodies from the hospital to designated places. Dr. Ofori-Boadu says conveying bodies of people who die under doubtful circumstances towards police investigations.
Yakase niya okonsuo no ono na obo ehina enti yehwe enipa na ebinso ebewu na esanse more transe more eni ase nti ebewu sa na gese ye release body no e ma ye yekosi wo baby se Komfo Anokye na se baby na emwa yen ebise sabi enye ewuo nyina na eye ewuo ebi ho no ma na police wo be se omo ehwehwe mu kakra enti ano sa na no mo mpese ye be release body no baby owu
a maternity block under construction to ease congestion at the hospital has been abandoned for years. Dr. Ofori-Boadu wants government to have the structure completed urgently.
Yeah, it's a quality health care now. Baby, Ada will be my you can say, and they say, I am man, I say, and ye workers also working area, proper working area. Bibia be a woman, and say, Emma Francois, Yawong, Fofro, MBU, nay, and then so baby, well equipped, Obinya,
Despite the challenges, Member of Parliament for Asoko constituency, Patricia Apiaje, urges staff to work diligently in the national interest.
I am a believer that anywhere a staff is posted to, there's no need to contact any place of influence. What I'm saying that to enrich any staff in the health service, it is very important that you expose yourself to the various conditions as it pertains in both the villages, township, and the region. So wherever you are posted, it is very important that as a citizen of Ghana, you take it in good faith. It is the arrangement or the legal arrangement or policy arrangement of the health service that you should ensure that, like the civil service, every 4 years you rotate your staff for each one to experience what is being experienced by a number of people within the villages.
Reporting for JoyNews, Emmanuel Edujemfi.
And before we go, let's focus on political party news. And former President John Dramani Mahama has lamented the poor state of the Damanko-Passa stretch of the Eastern Corridor Road. Construction works on the 70-kilometer road has stalled since 2016. And this was one of the many projects the NDC running mate has been inspecting on the tour of parts of the country. A caretaker on the site told Mr. Mahama and the national chairman of the NDC, Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, that they have been rendered redundant. President Mahama said the project should have been completed by 2018 if government had paid the contractors.
It was divided up between several contractors.
This is Oti Damanko stretch.
So this is Oti Damanko stretch. There's the Nakwanduri Damanko stretch. We came on it yesterday. You saw that many segments had been completed. It just needs to be joined together. Then you also have the Damanko to Nkwanta, the Nkwanta stretch.
Yeah, from Baza to
Nkwanta.
That is from somewhere within CB.
CB Hilltop to Nkwanta. Yeah. Then we did the Nkwanta to Dodipepesu stretch. That was an EU funding. And then you have from Dodipepesu to Jasikan, then Jasikan to Hohoi. All these had contractors working on various segments on them. The contractors' main complaint is that many of them have not been paid for 3 years now. Since 2016, they've not received any payment. And there's no way you can continue working when you don't receive any payment for the work done. This is a very critical road because all the yams and maize and other agricultural products that are grown in the northeastern part of the country come down this road to the markets in the south. And so I think that government should, gear up and pay the contractors so that the contractors can come back onto the road and complete it. The intention was that by 2018, I mean, all segments of this road would have been completed and the road would have been, through. But here we are going to 2020 and still the road is in a poor shape. If you look at the one we just came on, what they had put on half of the road is the final chippings that they put before they put the asphalt on it. And cars have started working on it. So now if you want to go back on the road, you have to repair that surface again before you can put the asphalt. That means it's going to cost more, to be able to finish the road than it would have been. It would have cost if the work had continued. Okay. And then market tomorrow.
Well, and that's it for the latest news update. But we'll have to apologize. We referred to former President John Dramani Mahama as a running mate. He is rather the presidential candidate of the NDC. But well, we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll look at what stories there are on front pages, the center spreads, and the back pages of the newspapers we have in the studio. Stay with us.